All right, the 86. Let's talk about how I got it. So my 86. Let's talk about how I got it. I have a friend in a band. Name of the band's Old Blood. The bassist of his band owned this car and has owned it for a long time, like early 2000s. And every time I'd go to their shows, I'd talk to the bassist and say, hey man, what's up with your 86? He's like, oh, it's just, I still got it. It's like, cool man, you ever want to sell it? It's like, no, I can't sell it. It's not for sale. For about 5 years, asking him, hey man, you ever want to sell your car? Oh man, it's not for sale. Until one day, a few years back, he's like, hey dude, I think I want to sell the car. You want to come by and look at it? So I did. I went to his house. The car was sitting in the front yard. It hasn't ran in I don't know how many years, but it's sitting in his front yard. I took some pictures and I looked at it and I was like, dude, I'm down. I've always wanted to own this car. It's awesome. It's a GTS. It's an 85. It's got a Trento bumper on it. It's GTS taillights. It's freaking awesome. I was super excited about it. That weekend, I think it was Friday, on my way over there to pick it up, he calls me. He's like, dude, I got cold feet. I can't sell this car anymore. Like, this is my car. I've had it for so long. Me and my brother want to fix it and I just can't let it go. He's like, sorry man, can't sell it. So I'm like, all right. I know how it is. No worries, dude. After that, people went different ways. I don't think I talked to him for about a year and a half until I had a Subaru. I had like a Hawkeye wagon Subaru, right? And I sold it. And after I sold it, I was like, okay, I have some cash. I want to buy something, and I want to buy something fun, like a street car, but like a fun street car. So I put it out on Instagram, asking if anybody has anything, asking what I should get. I'm looking at a bunch of different cars. And out of the blue, after not talking to him for about a year and a half, I texted him and I said, hey man, do you still have that 86? He replies later that night. He says, the junkyard will be here at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. If you can be here before then, it's yours. They're giving me $300 for it. Just give me $300 for it and you can have it. Just come with the trailer. So I immediately got my stuff together, loaded up my trailer, waited until the next day. 9 a.m. I was at his house with $300 cash. We rolled it into my trailer and brought it home. And that was it. I got a 1985 Toyota Corolla GTS for $300 in, what year was that? 2019? No, 2020? I'll have to look. I think it's 2020. I think it was about a year ago. I remember I got it running on 8/6 day last year. So it was around August of 2020. Which is insane. That's crazy to do that. But he's like, hey man, like, I know I was gonna sell it to the junkyard, but I'm really happy that you got it. Like, I know you're gonna take care of it. I know you're gonna treat it right. I know you're gonna fix it, and you're not gonna molest it and do some stupid stuff to it. And that leads us to where we are today with me. I've had the car for about a year and a half, and I've had fun with it. Super awesome car. I love it. It's got the best feeling pedal box in the world. Downshifting this car is amazing. I found myself at a crossroads to where this car is so original and it looks so cool with the patina. In my opinion, it looks freaking awesome with the patina. And I'm just to a point where I feel like I can't do anything more with it without ruining it. So I decided, okay, I think it's time for me to sell it. So I put an ad out on Instagram. I listed it for a stupid high price. Nobody wanted it, right? Obviously, it was a ridiculous price what I put it for. And it was just like one of those ones where it's not like you're not really trying to sell it, but if somebody gives you the money, you'd sell it. But after a few months of that, I was like, you know what? I was driving around a couple weeks ago. Actually, it was like last week. I was driving it around and I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to sell this. Because I've had my fun with it and it's time to let somebody else have their fun with it. And it's just like that chapter is like over for me, I think. So I put an ad out on Facebook and on OfferUp. I listed it for a decent price. I'll be honest, a decent price. Like for today's market in the later half of 2021, it's a decent price. Like there's SR5 selling for that price. So I know aesthetically with the rust on top and the interior, immediately people exit off and say, oh, it's a piece of crap, it's not worth anything, I wouldn't give you $5,000 for the car, it's ridiculous. And there's actually the Facebook ad I had on like on an AE86 enthusiast page. The comments on that, I mean, a lot of them are positive, and everybody's, you know, people were wishing me the best on the sale and saying how awesome it was and how they loved the way it looked and everything. But some of them are, yeah, keyboard warriors. And in my opinion, keyboard warriors without a car and without money are the ones who scream the loudest when it comes to car prices these days. And that was actually a big deterrent of why I didn't want to sell the car. Like, I wanted to sell the car, but I didn't want to go through that hassle of having to list it for a price that's an average asking price for today's day and age, and then just get shat on by everybody in the comments or everybody on OfferUp messaging me saying this is ridiculous, like I'll give you 1/4 of your asking price. Like, I just didn't want to deal with it. So I had it up, and first day was up, within 10 minutes somebody calls me and he's like, I want to buy the car, can you meet right now? So within 20 minutes of the post going up on Facebook and on OfferUp, I'm in the car and we're driving to go meet with the guy. His friend ended up coming for him. We couldn't reach a deal. He spoke Mandarin, and I brought my buddy who spoke Mandarin, and I don't think that guy realized that he spoke it. And pretty much on the phone, he's like, hey, yeah, we knew he wouldn't take that lowball offer. Yeah, well, maybe offer him a little bit more. And then they offered me a little bit more, but I was like, no, dude, like, the car's been up for 10 minutes. I can't let it go for that much under asking within 10 minutes of me posting the car. Like, let's give it some time. Met up with another guy, same day, right afterwards, actually. We left straight from there to go meet up another guy. Cool guy. We couldn't really meet a deal. So the guy who's picking up the car tonight is actually, in my opinion, the best person who could have got it. He is a AE86 enthusiast, and he has the cleanest AE86 I've ever seen in my life. And I know he's gonna take care of it, and he's gonna respect it, and it's gonna be awesome. And he asked me to keep his name anonymous for now, which is totally fine. I realize how it is these days with keyboard warriors and everything. So I won't be saying his name right now. Maybe sometime in the future you'll see the car again, but it's going in good hands, and I'm super excited to see what this guy's gonna do with it. A big issue that we had was people were hitting me up to buy the car, and they just wanted to buy it, put a paint job on it, and then sell it for a profit. And to me, that just didn't sit right. For one, if we're gonna make that much of a profit, I'll paint the damn thing and I'll sell it for more, right? But at the same time, like I was saying, on the originality of the car and just how awesome it looks, I couldn't bring myself to do that. I can't mess up this car. All I did after getting the car is put wheels on it, and that's it. Literally, I got the car running. So let me tell you about the beginning of the car. So after we made the deal, $300, put it in the trailer, brought it back home. With the same day I got the car home, I got it running on starter fluid or brake cleaner. And I noticed the guy before, I think he parked the car because there was a water pump issue. When I got the car, the front of the engine was taken apart. Like, they started to work on it, but they never really got anywhere with it. So the car comes back home. I started on starter fluid that day. And then I start diagnosing stuff. Obviously, first step, you always know what it is when a car sits. This car sat for, I think, 10 years. If you look at the tags on it right now, the tags say 2013. I never put my sticker on it. I've had the stickers for the last 2 years, but I never put it on because I think it's awesome that it says 2013 on it, because that was the last time it was registered, the last time I drove. So that's 8 years ago, whatever it is now. So that's a long time for a car to sit. So a new fuel pump. Once the new fuel pump was in, it started. I had my timing off. I started on AE86 day last year. Timing was off. It was a really bad run. I have a video of it on my Instagram, but it started. So I'm like, okay, awesome. Within a few days of the car becoming in my possession, it starts. And then from there, it was the cooling issues that were the culprit of why it got parked in the first place. I went to Toyota, all OEM parts, new water pump, new coil, new wires, new plugs, new everything pretty much. And then it worked, but then one piece has taken off the water pump, broke, which is this water pipe that goes underneath the intake manifold. And nobody makes that piece. And the only person that makes that piece is in Australia. So I had to order it from Australia. It took a while to come in, but it did come in. And after that was on, the car ran good. It had a little bit of an overheating issue still. I think that was because of the radiator. The stock radiator was super clogged. I put a coil rad in it. Immediately after that coil rad going in, I busted it. I don't know how. I put it on with all the stock mounting points and everything, and the fan clipped it, and it just immediately just put a big hole in it. I still have the coil rad sitting in my house, just useless now, but put a big hole in it, and that was done. That was a fun day. I think I have some footage of that. I don't know. Maybe you could see that. It's on my Instagram. After that, I put the stock one back in after I flushed it with the hose, and let's be honest, it's been great. It's I think I've put over 2,400 miles on it so far in the last year or so. One of the main reasons why I wasn't driving it as much in the beginning is because these wheels were built custom by Love 20B. They're actually on this street I'm on right now, just down there. Local to me, cool people. I love those people. But the timeline on the wheels took a little bit longer than what was expected, and the previous wheels on here, tires were dry rotted, sitting for almost 10 years, as you know. And I just never wanted to spend money on the tires for those old wheels, because I'm not gonna use them anyway, right? I'm getting new wheels. I already bought them. I put the down payment on these wheels, I think the week I got the car. So I was already like, I need wheels on this car, because it has a TN front suspension, Swift in the back, and it was already lowered, and it's already a cool car. It just needed wheels. That was it. So I did that. Took a bit longer than expected due to some issues they were having on their side, which is totally fine. But it took about 9 months to get these wheels done. So in that time, I kind of wasn't driving the car. I mean, I was driving it sometimes, but I was really afraid of the tires on there and for them to blow. So I kind of parked it. I drove it here and there, and local places. They're also like super flat spotted, and they would like vibrate a lot, like if you went too fast. Anyway, after I got these wheels on it is when I put majority of the miles on the car. So now we're like 2,400 at least since I've gotten it. Yeah, that's probably in the last year or so, maybe a little bit less than a year. Car's freaking great, dude. Never once an issue. It's awesome car. And that's what sucks too, is like I'm getting rid of it, and like it's like one of those cars that you just get in it and it just works. It just works. Like, it's a Toyota. I'm not a Toyota person myself. I'm more of a Nissan person. But you can't fault Toyota reliability, and it's an awesome car. And that's why seeing it go really does suck. I've never, besides that Subaru I sold to get this car, I've never sold a car before, and seeing a car go, and even now I see the Subaru on the street sometimes, I'm like, it's so weird. So weird, like that's my car. Like I get really sentimental with cars. I feel like cars have emotions, and they're part of the family. But yeah. Car's sold. Taking the wheels off right after this. I'm gonna go drop it off at the owner's house, and that's it. So I just want to say thanks to the guy I bought the car from. I promised him I let him drive it when I got it running, and here we are 2 years later, and I still never was able to meet up with him and let him drive it, but luckily the car is not going out of state, and it's not going into something crazy. Like, it'll be around, and we'll see the car, and he's already super happy that I got the car running and kept it alive and kept it in its original state, and it didn't go to the junkyard, which is crazy. Imagine this car in the junkyard. Oh my God, dude, that bumper alone people would fight over that in a junkyard. Insane to think that this car was gonna go to the junkyard and be dead forever. Like, I'm really happy I was able to save it. And the crazy thing is I didn't talk to him for a year and a half. And then the day I messaged him, the junkyard was on their way the next day, already been called. A year and a half, and I hit him up the day I needed to. If I hit him up one day later, if I hit him up 12 hours later, the car would have been gone. So saving the car is awesome. And yeah, I mean, we'll see what I do next. I have some ideas of what I want to get next. My S14 could always use some work. That's probably going to happen first. I might get myself a daily for the time being, maybe something a little bit more practical and responsible, as much as that sucks to say, but we all got to grow up at some point, right? Yeah, I'm excited to see what the future holds on cars, and definitely not the last time we're gonna be driving something cool like this. I do want to say, one thing I've noticed with this car is 86. I mean, maybe it's just this one in particular, it looking the way it does, and it's kind of unsuspecting. It looks like it looks like a piece of shit. I'll be honest, it does. It's rusty. It's loud. It doesn't look that good to the unsuspecting eye. But the people that know what it is, they really like it and they flip out over it. Like I would flip out. I said this when I first bought the car. I was like, man, it's crazy. I'm driving around in this car that it's been my dream car since I was a kid. I'm driving around it and literally nobody cares. Nobody cared at all. Like not one person looked at the car, gave me thumbs up, waved, even double tick on it. Nobody cared. And it was so weird to me. And then after I got the wheels on it, it's a little bit more flashy than it was, but it's still, to an unsuspecting person, it looks like a piece of crap. And I kind of got used to when driving it, nobody cares. But whenever somebody did care, which was rare, probably like 10% of the time, not even, I'll be driving it suspecting nothing, just going about my day. And then out of nowhere, you'll be passed by a car, and then there'll be some dude sticking his head out the window screaming at you like, oh my God, is that an 86? And it scares the crap out of me every time, because it's not, like if you're driving around in a Ferrari or an NSX or something that looks flashy, more often than not, people are going to be looking at you, so you're kind of ready for them to be looking at you or to get those sort of reactions. But when you're not, like when you're in a car that like most of the time doesn't, and then you get a crazy reaction like that, it's scary, man. I'll be honest. Like I've been really like actually scared a few times by people, hanging out the window and yelling at me. And then even yesterday, I went out with the professional photographer, and we took some pictures of the car, just as a keepsake thing before I sell it. And we're parked up at the location taking pictures, and most of the people don't care, but a good like 5 or 6 people, as they're walking by, are like, "Is that an 86? Oh my God, that's so cool!" People are stopping to take pictures of it, and those are the times you're like, "Crap, man, do I really want to sell this car?" Because it is cool. It is a cool car. But I thought real long and hard about it, and I think it is time. So, yep. All right. Thank you for listening to me about my car. Stay tuned and see what else there is to come. If you know me, you know I don't sit idly by. Like something's gonna happen, whether it be my 14 gets something crazy, or I get a new car that's crazy, or even if I just get a Prius and I do something cool to it. Something's gonna happen, and I'm not just gonna go away and stop cars altogether. I'm gonna have to do something. So stick around for that. My Instagram is Zenky Gold. But yeah, stick around. Thanks for the support, everybody.